The Otto family lives on a small island. Their new life is finally starting to fall into place. Today, father and son are heading out to cast their fishing nets. When they get home, they'll pick some fresh vegetables. They also built a new chicken coop. Later that afternoon, Otto is watering their small vegetable garden. It's a chore he has to do every day. In this small patch of theirs, they're growing tomatoes, peppers, and sunflowers, along with watermelons and other produce. Zainab grabs a watering can to get some water, but she discovers that no water is coming out of the pipe. She loudly calls out to her mother. When Otto hears this, he quickly goes to check on the situation. The family had only just recently installed this water pipe. It stretches all the way from a spring up on the mountain, across mountain paths and the river bank, leading all the way to their small island. But the pipe is incredibly long. Along the way, it crosses rock faces, boulders, and shallow waters. Any small leak or disconnection could cut off their water supply. His oldest son, Ollie, carefully inspects the pipe from one end to the other, but he doesn't find any issues. Now Otto is getting ready to take his oldest son up the mountain to check again. Before leaving, Otto grabs the fishing net as well. He figures they can try their luck on the way and bring some fish back home. Once they're ready, the father and son head to the other side of the river. This time, they don't need to bring the family or carry heavy tools, so they can travel light. This pipe runs from the mountain on the far side of the river, following the current down to this bank, and eventually reaching their small island. To get there, they have to jump in the river and start swimming because they moved to the island so recently. Ollie still hasn't quite learned how to swim. Every time he gets in the water, he holds onto an empty plastic bottle. He uses the bottle's buoyancy to help him float on the surface. Otto gets his net ready and begins to cast for fish. You can tell by the way he casts the net that he's an experienced and skilled fisherman. Now, some people have questioned the process of nomads fishing with a net. They ask why the camera always cuts. Why from casting to retrieving? We never show it all in one take. So today, we're going to do just that. We'll follow Otto and witness his entire fishing process firsthand. But since fishing itself requires a lot of patience, you have to wait a while before pulling in the net. That's why we usually have to cut out the boring parts and only keep the most essential and interesting moments. If we didn't edit at all, you would probably find it really boring to watch. He slowly pulls in this net. Inside is a fish. Ollie happily claps for his father. The fish population in this river is actually quite abundant. The nomads around here all use the same fishing methods. As long as you're patient and keep trying, you're bound to catch something. A little later, Otto slowly pulls in the net again. This time, he's caught to more fish. Ollie claps happily from the side. As the oldest son in the family, Ollie spends almost every day with his father, learning how to fish. He's also learning from his father's example, shouldering responsibility, and caring for his younger siblings, slowly becoming a pillar of support for his family. Otto prepares to cast his net again. Each time, he manages to spread it out perfectly. It's a skill he's perfected over many years. This catch comes up empty, but that's perfectly normal. Fishing is always a battle against luck. Sometimes you'll catch one or two, other times you get nothing. As he pulls in the next net, there's a fish inside. Empty nets and successful catches alternate, just like life itself. There are ups and downs, but you always have to keep going. When this net comes up, a much larger fish than before is thrashing around wildly. Ollie is ecstatic. He immediately helps his father pull the fish from the net, but his hand slips, and the fish splashes right back into the river. Father and son look at each other and smile. There's no blame. This moment of joy is more precious than the fish itself. In the river of life, some rewards are caught in a net, while others are found in shared laughter. After this cast, the two of them prepared to cross the river. They still need to take care of their most important task, checking the water pipe on the mountain. After swimming ashore, Otto casts the net a few more times, but he doesn't have any more luck. He stops fishing and gets ready to check the pipe on the mountain. First, they put the few fish they caught in a small pool of water to keep the fish fresh. Next, the father and son follow the stream from the spring up through the canyon. They check the pipe as they walk, looking for any loose sections or breaks. Continuing upward, Otto checks a connection point. The problem isn't here. It must be in a section of pipe further upstream, or right at the spring source. The father and son continue up the canyon, carefully inspecting the entire pipeline. At each connection point, Otto pulls the pipe apart to check. There's still no water flowing out. This means the problem is most likely at the source of the spring, further upstream. A snake quickly swims through the water up ahead, startling Ollie. But these little surprises have already become a part of their daily life. Continuing up, the path ahead disappears. Otto tells his son to head back down while he climbs the rock face himself. He needs to get to the spring source above to reposition the pipe. After a few moments, the spring water finally flows smoothly again. Ollie takes a drink, then reconnects the pipe. Once the pipe is connected, Ollie follows the small path back down the canyon. He walked all the way to the riverbank. Before long, Otto came down too. The problem was indeed at the source, way up top. They're putting the fish into a bag now. Then they'll cast the net again to catch more. They want to bring as many fish back as possible. After casting the net twice, the second try brought in 3 fish. Ollie cheered for his father again. The fish flopped around wildly as soon as they landed. One of the 3 fish was a little small. Otto threw the small one back into the river. Then Otto cast the net one more time and caught 1 fish. Then the father and son got ready to go home. This trip wasn't just about catching fish. It gave the family another meal. They also solved the water problem. Ollie used empty bottles to slowly figure out how to swim. On this small island where life depends on water, swimming isn't just a fun skill. It's essential for survival. Just then, Zainab, holding a piece of foam, came to greet her brother and father. Otto told his wife on the shore that the pipe at the spring's source had shifted. It wasn't lined up with the spring. That's what cut off the water flow, causing the water at home to stop for a while. This same movie. Sucker. Now the water pipe at home is flowing smoothly again, a continuous stream of spring water. After confirming the problem was fixed, Otto and Zainab went to feed the chickens. They had just brought these chickens back a couple of days ago. Life on the island is slowly becoming more and more full. With these chickens, they can get more protein And with this vegetable garden they tilled by hand, various vegetables and fruits are growing strong. It's all the result of the family's hard work, combined with the fish they catch. Adele's family is little by little turning this island into their true home. The father and daughter tasted the sunflower seeds. They're almost ripe. Afterward, the family sat together for a cup of hot tea, enjoying the peaceful moment. Yes. After tea, Faranges continued preparing ingredients for dinner. She had already cooked the rice. Now she's frying the fish to make the meal more substantial. At this time, Adel is getting ready to pick some fresh vegetables as part of tonight's dinner, to be served with the fried fish and rice for the family. Although this land is mostly rocky, thanks to the river's nourishment and their careful attention, every single vegetable is growing strong. Soon, the fish in the pan are cooked one by one. Faranges is now cutting potatoes, onions, and other vegetables into small pieces. She adds them to the pan to fry with the fish. This way, she doesn't have to cook them separately. It saves cooking oil and seasonings. Simple and convenient. Adel continues picking vegetables and fruits. He picked a few ripe tomatoes. The rest of the fruit is still very small. The watermelons nearby are round and full. The watermelon vines spread freely across the rocky ground, showing a lot of life. Occasionally, when a watermelon is ripe, they've already picked and eaten it. Adel picked a ripe melon here. Then, the father and son continued to look for more crops to pick. This sunflower is already ripe. He cuts it down directly with his knife. The variety of fruits and vegetables in this garden is rich, giving new life to this once barren, rocky land. These various kinds of vegetables not only make the family's meals more diverse, but also provide them with more complete nutrition. Fishing on the island, planting crops, and raising chickens all work together. It's helping their life slowly become stable. Finally, Adel picked a young pumpkin here. Then, the father and son took the freshly picked produce back. Back at the hut, the children couldn't wait to taste the fresh fruits and vegetables. Now dinner is all ready. The family gathers in front of their thatched hut and begins to enjoy their dinner. There's fish, rice, and fresh vegetables. For them, this is a very hearty meal. It's also quite nutritious. On this small island, a dinner like this isn't just a treat for the taste buds. It's a moment of happiness earned through their hard work. After dinner, it's still early. Adel takes his eldest son to go get some soil from the other side of the river. They'll use it to build a chicken coop to give their chickens a place to live. That way they won't wander off. In a short time, the father and son came back from across the river with some sandy soil. Next, they'll start building the chicken coop. Adel chose a spot a little away from the hut, a relatively flat open area to build a co-op. Using the stones readily available around them, they stack them one by one to form a wall. Then they use mud to smear in the gaps and on the outer surface of the stone wall, making the chicken coop's structure stronger. Finally, they take some materials from their own hut, like a few wooden sticks, to use as the roof for the co-op. Before long, this simple chicken coop is starting to take shape. It still needs more work to be complete. Otto plans to cover the entire outer wall and roof of the co-op with layers of mud. This will both reinforce the gaps between the stones and also effectively insulate it from the wind, rain, and temperature changes outside. In just a moment, Otto has finished building the entire chicken coop. It looks simple, but it's enough to provide shelter and warmth. They start herding the chickens into the coop one by one. Now that they have their own little home, the chickens will feel more settled. Once they get used to it, they will start laying eggs consistently, providing more food for the family.